Welcome to QuickTest Professional. This demonstration presents several QuickTest Quality Center integration capabilities, including the Dependencies and Resources model, versioning, and the ability to make Quality Center tests portable using the Save Tests with Resources option. Let's start by opening QuickTest and connecting to the FT_QTP_VC Quality Center project. Now we'll open a function library that is currently stored in the file system and is ready to be uploaded to Quality Center. When we choose to save the function library to Quality Center, we can see that there is a dedicated Test Resources module in which we can store it. Let's save the function library here and go to Quality Center to see it. The Test Resources module is a repository for all the resource files that can be associated with a test or with other test assets. For example, you can store function libraries, shared object repositories, recovery scenarios, and data tables in this module. Like with any other module in Quality Center, you can use Quality Center filtering capabilities, search options, and more. Here is the function library that we just saved. It has a set of basic fields, which of course can be customized. Additionally, for all QuickTest external resources, you can actually view the resource content directly from Quality Center. For this function library, we can see the code, and for this shared object repository, we can see the object tree and the object properties. Let's create a new test in QuickTest and save it to Quality Center. This test will use our function library, and we'll call one of its functions. Let's associate the main window object repository with Action 1 and add a few steps to the action. And finally, let's call the main action from the existing action library test. Now we will save our new test to Quality Center in the Test Plan module. In Quality Center, we see that the test has a Dependencies tab. In this tab, we can see all the test dependencies. We can see that this test uses one function library, one shared object repository, and calls one external action. If we go to the Action Library test, we can see that our PCA1 test is being used by the Action Library test, which means that our test is calling one of the Action Library test's reusable actions. When we click on the calling action, Quality Center jumps to the test containing that action. When we click an external resource, Quality Center takes us to the resource in the Test Resources module. Similarly, we can view the dependencies for the resources to see a list of tests that are using each one. Because Quality Center knows about the relationships between a QuickTest test and its resources, Quality Center alerts us when we try to delete a resource that is being used and shows us exactly which assets are currently using the asset we selected to delete. If we move one of our used resources to a new location, then when we open our test, we can see that QuickTest automatically detected the new location and updated the test. Now let's take a look at the versioning functionality in Quality Center. Because our Quality Center project is enabled for versioning, we can view the check-in status of each resource. There is a red Closed Lock icon if it is checked out by another user, a green Open Lock if it is currently checked out by you, and no lock icon at all if it is currently checked in. We can see these same indications in QuickTest as well. Let's check in our test. And then verify that it is in fact marked as checked in. If we try to open the test in QuickTest while it is checked in, it is opened in read-only mode. We can use the File menu to check it out, or we can choose to check it out from the Open Test dialog box. Let's make a few changes to the test. We'll add a new step, update some data table values, and change a few of the test settings. Let's check it back in now, and go back to Quality Center to see the changes. In Quality Center, we can see the test versions in the History tab. One option in this tab is to view the contents of a specific version. From here, we can see the Quality Center test details, and then we can look at the contents of the test itself. In this tab, we can also select two different versions and compare the differences between them. First, we see a comparison of the Quality Center fields, and then we can view a detailed comparison of the changes in the test itself. Here we can see all of the changes in the test. At the top, we see the test setting changes. It shows us that the run mode was changed and that the local system monitoring option was enabled. Next, we see that the function library resource file was modified, and we can also see that there were changes in the test script and the data table. We can drill down to the test script by clicking this arrow to see the actual changes that were made. Similarly, we can drill down to the data table content and see the changes there. These versioning capabilities, including the detailed comparison, are also available for the resources in the Test Resources module. The last capability we will cover in this demonstration is the option to save a Quality Center test to the file system along with all its resources so that you can review or run the test when you are not connected to the network. Let's go back to QuickTest and open our test. When we select Save Test with Resources, the dialog box that opens shows us all the resources that the test uses. In this case, we can see the function library, the shared object repository, and the external action. If we had recovery scenarios or external data tables associated with our test, these would be displayed as well. We select a local drive to save our test and press the Save button. The HTML report that opens lists all the external resources that were saved, along with other details, including their original location and the new location. As we can see, QuickTest saved all the external resources under the test folder in the dedicated subfolders. The called external action was also saved under the appropriate name. When we open the Save Test, we can see that QuickTest updated the resource locations to point to the local copies of the resources. Now we can run this test even when we don't have access to Quality Center. This movie highlighted several options that you can utilize when you store your QuickTest assets in Quality Center. You can learn more about these and other Quality Center integration capabilities in the Quick Test Professional User's Guide or Quick Test Professional for Business Process Testing User's Guide.